page real quick. And oops. Real quick. All right, we already have some folks on the line. We'll get started in just a moment. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Here we are. Oops. Get my screen in the right place. Always these last minute things of trying to figure out the different windows. Um, and we already have folks from Vermont and England. And oops, get that up there. And as Evelyn says, peace is essential to our well-being, and we know of no better way to cultivate peace than to use this simple process of tapping on our meridian points and calming down our nervous system. So very happy to be here with folks live to cultivate that around the world. Very happy to be here with my very good friend Gene Montrestelli. How are you, Gene?
I'm good. I think you need to add me to the spotlight so everybody else can see me as well. Or I can just be a disembodied voice for our conversation, the voice inside of Brad Yates' head. You now know what it sounds like.
That is too scary. There's not enough tapping to do it. No, you're showing up.
Okay, great.
Yeah. All good. All good. Excellent. Folks from Amman, Jordan, Colorado, Texas. Excellent, excellent. So so there's a couple of reasons we're doing this. One, we could use more peace in the world. Um, there are some things going on that have some people on edge, and we really want to be you know, managing our circulatory, our nervous system, and also at the same time, also letting folks know about the 30-day tapping challenge coming up. And so, Gene, if you want to tell folks about that.
Yeah, it's kind of the intersection of two things. The first is the intersection from something our buddy Rick Wilkes taught me a long time ago. It's this really fun piece of vocabulary. He describes it as being a vibrational leader. And how do we show up in the world through vibrational leadership? And the way that we show up in the world through vibrational leadership is by the way that we change ourselves from the inside out, and the way that we kind of send those rippling senses out into the world as we navigate what is going on. The second piece of it came from the fact that I realized that they found that when people were doing New Year's resolutions, if they had a closed in New Year's resolution, they were significantly more likely to be successful with that New Year's resolution. So there was the difference between I'm going to run 3 times a day, 3 times a week in the new year, or I'm going to run 3 times a week in the month of January. So when we have a closed end to that, the subconscious mind doesn't revolt against the fact that we have just given ourselves this homework assignment that I now have to do this task every single day for the rest of my life. And so by creating something that is closed ended makes it significantly easier to do. The other thing that when it comes to like doing something consistently, having it so that the only decision I have to make is doing it makes it so much easier for us to do. So you mush all of these things together. And so every November for the last number of years, what I've done is I've just done a really simple 30-day tapping challenge, and I've recorded a whole bunch of videos. And every single morning, a new video goes up, and it gives us the ability to do a little internal work to find ourselves more at peace inside of our body, which means that we show up as vibrational leaders in the world. But it's a commitment that is small enough and it is close ended that we're not fighting our subconscious mind. And so what it does is it slowly moves us to a place where we're building a habit. And so it's something like that. And so last year, our goal was to do 15,000 rounds of tapping as a community in the month of November. And we actually ended up doing 20,000 rounds of tapping, which is really pretty cool to like to think about it. Like I sit down and I tap for 3 or 4 minutes. Like that doesn't feel like it's a very big deal. But if I take that 3 or 4 or 5 minutes of tapping where I'm creating a little piece in my day and I multiply that by 20,000 or 25,000, we do it for 5 minutes. You get 25,000 rounds of tapping this month. That's 125,000 minutes of tapping, which all of a sudden becomes something that is significant. Like, and that's one of the beautiful things about the fact that we are this amazing neural network of connected humans in this community, is that when one node in that neural net changes in a positive way, it vibrates out. We are vibrational leaders in the world in that particular way. And so what I wanted to do, and we've been doing it for a number of years, is just make it really, really simple for people that literally all you have to do is you have to open your inbox, you have to click a link, you have to click play, and then it's the old Yellow Pages ad, let your fingers do the walking, and you just do a few minutes of tapping, and you have made your day better, but you have contributed to the world by showing up as a vibrational leader wherever you are in the world. And if we get little nodes of that happening all over the place, it just becomes magic in that particular way.
Awesome. Awesome. I just put the link in the chat box for folks. It's also in the video description just below this video. So please check that out because yeah, we can use everyone stepping up and being energetic leaders and cultivating more positive energy, more peace around the world. So thank you for doing that. And that's what we're here to do today. Do you want to start us off with a round of tapping or you want me to start?
I'd love to. Everybody tap the
Excellent.
side of the hand. Just take a nice, easy, deep breath. And just feel yourself in your body. And don't do that in a diagnostic way. Just notice. Like just be aware. And one of the things that I do when I'm noticing, oftentimes when I'm seated, I only notice to the bend in my legs, and I'm only noticing the upper part of me. So just notice your entire system. And to begin with, in a way that I've just learned so beautifully from our friends at the Peaceful Heart Network, let's just do a single round of tapping that's completely content free and just move from tapping point to tapping point. Tippy top of the head. And tap on the eyebrow point. Side of the eye, under the eye, under the nose, chin, collarbone, under the arm, side of the hand. Nice, easy, deep breath. And once again, just notice. And just notice what's different. Not what's better, but just notice what's different. And for me, like that has been my go-to and putting myself back in my body in this really crazy time because I've been distracted and emotional and all the things that everybody else is literally just doing one round of wordless tapping and just noticing what is going on. And I think it's so important because we are taught to be as specific as possible, which makes us believe we have to be specific. And, what are the words for? I'm sure you get those emails all the time that I get, Brad. What are the tapping phrases for this particular issue? And like the tapping words are the ones that come out.
Yeah.
And the way we do it for this issue is to just be present and do that particular thing. And so just to kind of like put ourselves into that, just to do around without any words, I find is a really useful way to begin.
Yeah, no, it's a great reminder because we can get so caught up in the words and, well, I can't tap because I don't know what to say yet. It's like, we're just down regulating stress. You're just
Yeah.
the words are most important when we're trying to focus on something that's not clear and present to try to elicit the feeling that comes up when we think about different things. But when we're aware of something going on, particularly if we happen to watch the news or look at social media, if we try to avoid that, but if we find ourselves falling into that and get triggered in some way, don't worry about the words. Just allow the tapping will calm down what's going on inside. And as it does so, we get more clear-headed. Because when we get stressed out, prefrontal cortex starts to go bye-bye. We're not thinking clearly. We're not making the best choices. And as we tap, we calm down, we get back into our rational mind, we think better, we make better choices, and we make better choices, we get better results in all kinds of different ways.
And like I like what you're saying there about this idea that like we use the phrases to get tuned in. If I have a client who is in front of me in tears, I don't go 0 to 10. How sad are you? Like you're sad. We know that you're completely present to that particular thing. And I think it's again and again that's one of the reasons why like doing something as small as tapping for 4 or 5 minutes every single day with a little guidance in this particular way just makes it so much easier for us to just regulate the system so that we're more present to what's going on. And oftentimes after I do a tap along, one of your tap alongs or someone else's tap alongs, then all of a sudden it's like, oh, and this is the thing that I really need to tap on to set myself up for the day. And by liberating myself from having to have the agenda when I sit down to tap, by having something like doing a round of wordless tapping or having the resources of a video or a script or something to follow along to, just by doing that and spending a little time. Because the beautiful thing about tapping is it's mechanical. Like, and by that we mean there is a mechanism involved. Simply stimulating these points downregulates the emotional system. Simply tapping on these points clears cortisol, and that becomes a victory. I'm much more likely to make a thoughtful, deliberate choice or response, or am going to be less overwhelmed by whatever is coming at me by just doing that. And so, like, that's really just what I'm hoping is for folks to do that on the regular, and it makes it so much easier for us to be present in that way.
Yeah. Another go-to that I have been doing, I've done in the past, and then I've recently been spending some time with Joe Vitale and reminding me about, Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
So just very simple, the four phrases of Ho'oponopono is, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And you can say it silently to yourself, but I find sometimes there are definitely times where I'm just tapping silently, and there are other times where it's like, okay, it just gives me a little flow there. to just repeat those four phrases. Uh, Particularly if I am picking up on some news or something like that, and I start to go into my judgments, and I try to catch myself as quickly as possible. I go, okay, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I was falling off of my peace place because I'm always trying to keep this in mind. This little image that I created of, where are you moving the needle? Towards love and peace or towards fear and conflict?
Brad, you're sharing the YouTube video.
Oh,
You're on there twice.
that's not what it said it was sharing.
There we go.
There we go. Technology, tap, 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 tap. So, but just thinking in which direction are you moving the needle? And so often we get caught up in moving the needle towards fear and conflict, especially when we're scrolling social media and there are things that just move us there. And in terms of our own peace of mind and well-being, obviously it's better if we choose things that lead us towards love and peace. But in terms of everything else, in terms of really creating what we want in life, assuming that fear and conflict isn't your life's passion and your goals, um, when we go into those places of being in that vibration, it's like, okay, I want to head west. Oh, but first I'm going to run a few steps east. And we keep going, and it takes us in the opposite direction. So in terms of our personal goals, moving in the direction of love and peace in our energy is going to get us there quicker. And then again, in terms of that energetic leadership, when the more we stay in that, moving the direction, moving the needle towards love and peace, and the more we encourage other people to do so, just think of how the world's going to be.
And I love how you're talking about the version of the Ho'oponopono prayer that Joe Vitale shares. One of the things I do every year during Lent is every single time I touch a doorknob, I say that.
Mm,
And so again, it's another way of just in simple, small ways creating a reminder that is puncturing my day and just pushing me back into, because typically when I am walking through a door, it's because I'm moving in a direction. And if I'm moving in a direction, I'm thinking about the thing that I'm going to, and it's really easy for me to be out of my body and out of what is going on. And so by touching the doorknob and saying that to myself every single time I pass through a door, I just keep going, okay, peace and grounding and calm and being in the moment, moving the needle like you were just talking about becomes the priority.
yeah.
And it becomes a reminder. And it doesn't have to be, again, it for us to transform the way that we show up in the world doesn't mean I have to tap for 90 minutes 4 times a week.
Yeah.
That might actually provide something that is valuable to me, but at the exact same time, that isn't necessarily the case. And so for me, the thing that I've been like, as I've been super distractible over the course of the last 6 weeks with everything that's going on, one of the things that I realized was I do a poor job of recognizing being distracted, but I do a very good job of recognizing what I do when I am distracted. And so for me, like I'm going to social media, I'm on Instagram, I'm in an online dating app, I'm on a news feeds, I'm in my inbox. And so the rule I created for myself a couple of weeks ago was every single time I did an action that showed that I was being distracted, like my hands are on the keyboard, and the next thing I know, my phone is in my hand and I'm looking at Instagram. What I would then do is I set my timer for a minute and I did a minute of wordless tapping.
Excellent.
But the nice thing is I didn't have to pay attention to what was going on emotionally because I'm a really bad observer of my emotional state as I'm moving through the day. I am a good observer of what I'm doing. And so the flag became when I do something that is a consequence of distraction, that means I need to do something small. So I'm just, and the vocabulary I've been using is I'm just putting myself back in my body. I'm just like kind of like taking the emotion, and just releasing what's there. And then all of a sudden, I'm present in a completely different way, which allows me to navigate into something that is useful and helpful as I move forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Excellent. Because yeah, it's so easy for us to get sidetracked and hours later it's like, oh, how did I get here?
Yeah.
So to build in those little things of, all right, I gotta, you know,
You know,
fortunately I do so
do,
much tapping throughout the day that's like it's sort of the first thing I think of most of the time. I mean, it's usually a couple of minutes
yeah.
down the rabbit hole, and then it's like, oh,
And that's the other thing. Like the other thing about the more we reach for a tool, the more likely we are to reach for a tool. And so, when I was in fourth grade, there was an actual fire in my grade school. It was super, super small. It was contained to a kitchen. It was a giant concrete building. Nothing was actually going to burn. And 450 little kids got out of the building with no trouble, with no panic, even though there was smoke in the hallways. We were just excited to see a fire truck because we had practiced, because we were used to doing a fire drill when we knew where to go when a fire drill happened. When it really happened, it wasn't a drill. When we're in a circumstance where we are consciously using a tool set, when we need the tool set, we're much more likely to reach for it. And so by doing something like a 30-day where I'm going to do something every single day, in addition to the benefit of doing that, we're training ourselves to go, oh, I mean, I am as simple as Pavlov's dog. You know, I want the treat. Give me the treat. And I learn when I tap on my body regularly, I get the treat of feeling better. And so when I don't feel good and I go, I want a treat, I don't want to be stressed, my body goes, ah, yes, I remember this thing. That if I'm only reaching for tapping in moments of distress, I'm less likely to remember to reach for tapping in a moment of distress. If I'm reaching for tapping regularly, then in a moment of distress, I lean on the things that I normally do. And that's the reason why, in all sorts of modalities and all sorts of things, we do a 5-day, a 7-day, a 14-day, a 30-day, a 90-day challenge. Like, it's not just like that's a fun thing to do, but it's a structure that makes it easier for us to add habits to our lives. So this is an opportunity for us as a community to do a lot of really awesome tapping, but anybody who participates, it's an awesome opportunity for you to make that the thing that you remember when you need it.
yeah, yeah, make it regular. So I'm going to invite everyone, go ahead and close your eyes, take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. And just check in again, following your breath through your body and just noticing what's going on in there, noticing what you're feeling physically, what you're feeling emotionally. And allow yourself to be aware of how much peace you might be feeling. So we'll say, let's thinking about levels of distress. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 would be total zen, total bliss. 10 would be I'm freaking out. And just notice where you might be. As much as possible, don't judge that. Just be curious about what's going on in there. Notice how you're feeling, where you're feeling it. Notice any thoughts, beliefs, or memories that are contributing to any disturbance. And take a deep breath, open your eyes, and let's get that treat. Even though some things might be bothering me,
Even though some things might be bothering me,
I choose to love and accept myself.
I choose to love and accept myself.
Even though some things might be bothering me,
Even though some things might be bothering me,
I choose to love and honor myself.
I choose to love and honor myself.
Even though some things might be bothering me,
Even though some things might be bothering me,
I might be feeling some stress.
I might be feeling some stress.
It might be hard to feel peace right now.
It might be hard to feel some peace right now.
And even though some things are bothering me,
And even though some things are bothering me,
I choose to deeply and completely
I choose to deeply and completely
love, honor, and accept myself,
love, honor, and accept myself.
and maybe anyone else who might be involved.
And maybe anybody else who might be involved.
because I choose to be that free.
I choose to be that free.
Like going through the points. All these things that are bothering me.
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 Some of them might be really obvious,
Some of them might be really obvious,
and there might be some more subtle things,
and there might be some more subtle things.
things I don't even give a second thought to
Things that I don't even give a second thought to
because I'm so focused on the big things.
because I'm so focused on the big things.
But whatever's going on in there,
But whatever's going on in my life,
I choose to be processing it,
I choose to be processing it,
clearing out as much stress as possible.
clearing out as much stress as possible.
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
And I love and appreciate those parts of me
that are causing this disturbance,
that are causing this disturbance,
believing that it's necessary.
believing that it's necessary.
It's the appropriate response.
It's the appropriate response.
Have you not been paying attention?
Have you not been paying attention?
I should be freaking out.
I should be freaking out.
And I'm taking a moment
And I am taking a moment
to ask how that helps.
to ask how that helps.
Can I feel enough stress
Can I feel enough stress
to make things better?
to make things better?
Probably not.
Probably not.
And people might say to me,
And people might say to me,
you look too peaceful.
you look too peaceful.
Are you not paying attention?
Are you not paying attention?
And I can say to them,
And I can say to them,
I am taking this matter very seriously.
I am taking this matter very seriously.
That's why I choose to be thinking at my best levels.
That's why I'm choosing to think at my best levels.
Because if I get stressed out,
Because if I get stressed out,
that minimizes my ability to think.
that minimizes my ability to think.
So what I'm doing is more productive.
So what I'm doing is more productive.
They might not get it,
They might not get it,
but I choose to be a leader here,
but I choose to be a leader here,
raising my vibrational levels,
raising my vibrational levels,
which will help raise theirs.
which will help raise theirs.
I can even be kind of smug about it if I want.
I can even be kind of smug about it if I want.
I'm helping you reduce stress too,
I'm helping you to reduce stress too,
even though you think you should be stressed out.
even though you think you should be stressed out.
But I choose to cultivate peace.
But I choose to cultivate peace.
I choose to clear what isn't peace.
I choose to clear what isn't peace.
And I'm clearing the fear
And I'm clearing the fear
that if I get too peaceful,
that if I get too peaceful,
I'll become complacent.
I'll become complacent.
Oh, this tapping's doing such a great job.
Oh, this tapping is doing such a great job.
I feel so relaxed.
I feel so relaxed.
Now I don't care what happens in the world.
Now I don't care what happens in the world.
Not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
As I clear what isn't peace,
As I clear what isn't peace,
I'm even more committed to peace.
I'm even more committed to peace.
And I have greater access to my gifts and talents.
I have greater access to my gifts and talents,
And I can use those to make the world a better place.
and I can use those to make the world a better place.
I'm not tapping to become complacent.
I'm not tapping to become complacent.
I'm tapping to be free,
I'm tapping to be free,
to make a bigger difference in the world.
to make a bigger difference in the world.
And I'm allowing all of myself to know
And I'm allowing all of myself to know
that's a much better use of my energy.
that's a much better use of my energy.
So while I love and appreciate those parts of me
While I love and appreciate those parts of me
that have been going into anxiety mode,
that have been going into anxiety mode,
believing that it's necessary,
believing that it's necessary,
I'm choosing something more beneficial.
I'm choosing something more beneficial.
I appreciate those parts of me.
I appreciate those parts of me.
I'm not wrong or bad or stupid
I'm not wrong or bad or stupid
for feeling what I feel.
for feeling what I feel.
I'm just giving myself permission
I'm just giving myself permission
to see if it's really necessary
to see if it's really necessary
and whether or not it's possible to relax.
and whether or not it's possible to relax.
Actually, let's do we can do some be set free fast here. So tapping on each point a little bit longer. Tapping the eyebrow points. I'm now releasing all of the sadness and trauma
I'm now releasing all of the sadness and trauma
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
and all of the roots and deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
Side of the eye. I'm now releasing all of the anger and resentment
I'm now releasing all of the anger and resentment
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
in all of the roots and deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
Under the eye. I'm now releasing all the fears and doubts
I'm now releasing all the fears and doubts
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
in all of the roots and deepest cause
of anything that does not feel like peace.
of anything that does not feel like peace.
Under the nose. I'm now releasing all of the embarrassment and humiliation
I'm now releasing all of the embarrassment and humiliation
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
Under the mouth. I'm now releasing all the shame and guilt
I'm now releasing all the shame and guilt
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
Collarbone. I'm now releasing any remaining fears
I'm now releasing any remaining fears
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
in all of the roots and deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
And under the arm. I'm now releasing all the low self-esteem
I'm now releasing all the low self-esteem
in all of the roots and the deepest cause
and all the roots and the deepest cause
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
of anything that doesn't feel like peace.
Allowing myself to process that stuff,
Allowing myself to process that stuff,
giving myself permission to release it.
giving myself permission to release it.
I don't need this fear and anxiety
I don't need this fear and anxiety
to protect me
to protect me
or to prepare for things.
or to prepare for things.
I'd rather use my rational mind for that.
I'd rather use my rational mind for that.
And I'd rather use my heart.
And I'd rather use my heart.
And I'm giving myself the freedom to do so
And I give myself freedom to do so
in body, mind, and spirit.
in body, mind, and spirit.
And take a deep breath. Go inside and check how that feels. Hopefully, any distress is coming down. You're getting closer to that zero, a little more peace, hopefully.
I love the sense of like just physical expansion that comes with a sense of peace. I know sometimes it's a sense of grounding, but for me, more often than not, it's a sense of filling up appropriately, if that makes sense. It's like I'm all there and I'm all connected to all of me that is there as we're engaging with that.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that because we're clearing out blockages, those things that block off different parts of us so that we can feel more whole and complete. And then the wholeness of everything and being one with everything. And we're clearing out the blockages that are there that are so present at the moment, so many blocks between us and others. I'm just going to keep tapping here for folks. Take the whole time to clear as much as possible. We're in a very, a lot of us versus them stuff going on. And it's these blocks that are put in, just like, Gene, what you're talking about in the body. We block off parts of our body, and we're blocking off parts of the entire body. So allowing ourselves to clear that out. I've been playing with the idea of, You know how like on your phone you've got the little battery indicator and shows you how much is there, and your gas tank. Well, we have all kinds of gauges of things. And imagine if someone had this meter on their chest of their love levels, and you can see them going down. And when people are behaving in unkind ways, you just know, oh, you can just look at it and say, oh, your love levels are way low. And we're so programmed to hate on people and get angry and judge them. And it's like, yeah, you can't, as Dr. King said, you can't, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. So I try to get to a place of going, all right, I got to try to send love towards this person. I'll like visualize sending hearts, like shooting hearts towards this person and trying to imagine their love levels coming up, and thinking about people out there, and reading the news of people doing things that are harmful or hateful. It's like, okay, that person just needs a whole lot more love, and trying to send that. But we can't send that if we're not feeling that. So that's when I try to go into the Ho'oponopono if I don't have other specific words. Or again, even just silent tapping, we will be clearing out that stuff that isn't peace or love.
The other thing I think is really important, as you know, as we're thinking about division and conflict, is the sense of us and them. And the thing I find really, really interesting is, I think of Mr. Rogers, and when something goes wrong, you go find the helpers. And oftentimes, when I am in a circumstance where I'm in some sort of emotional conflict with someone else, the way that I show up in a grounded way might have little to do with the person that I'm in emotional conflict with. But what I'm doing is I'm being that vibrational emotional leader for everybody else who is witnessing the interaction that is going on. And so often when we think of conflict, we think of the person that we're in conflict with. But again, because we exist inside of this sense of community, like that conflict is impacting the community. It's not just the conflict that is there. And so I'm recognizing that by showing up in a more peaceful, more grounded, more loving, more whole way, it's for everything in the environment, not just what is in front of me, not just what I'm engaging with in that particular way. That I've been in circumstances where things are going wrong because of weather, because of natural disaster, and all of a sudden, like it's almost like the people in the room are starting to gather around me. And I'm not doing anything externally and I'm not leading in any particular way, but because of the internal work I'm doing in a moment like that, other people in the room are going, that's ground, that's home,
Yeah,
that's safe.
I'm going to
Go,
find the
they're just
helper.
naturally going to find the helper in that particular circumstance. And so sometimes it's like really hard when we're like, you know, things that are on a national and a global scale, which it doesn't feel like we can make change to that thing. By showing up in a way that is grounded and peaceful, we're making a change to the people who are around us who also might not have the ability to change this national or this global thing, but all of us are in a different state because of the work we are doing, and it's rippling horizontally
Yes.
around us. It's not just going at what we are facing in that particular way. And I always find that as a useful reminder for myself because there are things that I do not have control over and I cannot change. But and me showing up peacefully, I don't have control over and I can't change that thing. But I'm changing what is around me in that particular moment. And that becomes a useful investment of my time and energy of trying to cultivate and create peace as a peacemaker.
Yeah. Yeah. I Another go-to tapping is the Serenity Prayer for those
Yeah.
things, And I don't know if we've done it before. So there's, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. And then I always say the courage and whatever else it might take to change the things I can,
Yeah.
and the wisdom to know the difference. And then the other take is God grant me the serenity to accept the people I cannot change,
Yeah.
the courage to change the one I can, and the wisdom to know it's me. And that's the basis behind Ho'oponopono is the outside world is a reflection of what's going on inside. So we're always looking at all the stuff going out there. Oh, that should be happening. It's like, okay, but if I'm spotting it, there must be something inside of me that's got that to some level. And if I can make that correction inside, then I'm making the correction in a more global way.
And the other part of that is the place that we have the largest impact is from the inside out. Like that's the place that I have the most ability to create change. That's the
Yeah.
place that I have the largest, strongest lotus of control is what's happening from the inside out. And so it might not be the biggest lever, but it's the biggest lever I have access to.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and the other thing is it also gives me a sense of like, in a world that feels like it's out of control, going to the place where I do have some control is also a little grounding inside of that particular thing, which makes it easier for me to show up in different ways because I'm doing it from that place, going from the inside out.
Yeah. Yeah. And also when we go to move that lever for something bigger, it's very hard for us to go out and say, I'm going to go do some big things to create peace in the world while I'm having conflict inside. So I'm trying to move the lever on something big while still having that inside. I mean, that's the interesting thing when I'll see in social media and people are, arguing about peace. It's like, well, we need peace. Well, this and this, and they're fighting each other. It's like, guys, how do you expect? And they're arguing about something that's happened in the Middle East or something that's somewhere else. Like, how do you expect to create peace over there if we're not having peace right here? And not in a, I don't mean that in a judgmental way. It's just trying to create awareness of we can't if we want to create it out there, just, let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. And if I don't start with me, how good am I going to be able to show up in terms of that? So, you want to lead us through another round?
Absolutely. Terry's tapping the side of the hand. Just take a nice, easy, deep breath. And just move from point to point in the order that makes the most sense to you. I recognize the fact the place that I have the most control is inside of me. And there are times where that feels insufficient. There are times where that doesn't feel like enough. And I recognize the fact the place that I can begin is simply the beginning. Because when I stand in peace, I am more thoughtful. I am more deliberate. I am more aware. I am more kind. And every choice I make that comes from being grounded in peace has a rippling effect that impacts those around me. I give myself permission to have grand dreams of the peace that we can all share and recognize my first effort is in me. Is in my day. Is in my life. Is in my interactions. I give myself permission to recognize the value of even the smallest gesture of peace and love. There have been times where others have extended small gestures of peace towards me that might have felt insignificant to them. That was revolutionary for me. That was healing for me. That was transformative for me. It is easy for me to underestimate and undervalue small gestures of love and peace. I give myself permission to recognize small gestures of love and peace are meaningful, are significant, are nourishing. Even if I feel small, I give myself permission to be an agent of peace. Even though I feel scared, I give myself permission to be an agent of love. Even though I sometimes feel insignificant in a big world, I give myself permission to recognize the value of the peace I cultivate in my own heart and the love I share in even small actions. Nice, easy breath. Big stretch. Mm.
Well, that was lovely. I'm very blissed out now. Thank you. And I love that. Yeah, Agent of Peace. I see Chris had put that in. Hey, Chris. Um, yeah, there. Um, David Hawking in the book Power versus Force talks about when we can send out peaceful energy. He says it's modest but measurable. So there are times when I'm on my morning walk, I'll stand at a street corner. There's lots of traffic, and there's lots of cars, and I'm just again shooting those little hearts out. And it's like I have no idea how significant the difference might be, But if there's any effect, awesome. If nothing else, there's an effect for me. And then I'm being that vibrational leader. And, so just, and just the fact that I'm focusing on a positive way. So when we do that, sending out positive energy to folks, whether or not they receive it, you know, there are scientists saying that it's measurable, but how that shows up into what if extent, we may never know. But if that's where our mind is, that's where our energy is going to be going, and it's going to be making a difference in how we show up and in the actions that we take. So we're much more likely to then take positive outward actions in how we respond to people, how we speak to people. So it's just a total win-win situation.
When I'm working with parents and I'm teaching them talking about surrogate tapping for their children, the way I always frame it is if you spend 7 minutes surrogately tapping for your child, you've spent 7 minutes thinking loving thoughts for your child. You win.
Yeah.
And I say, I'm not being hyperbolic when I say, and you win, because we have agendas when we show up, we want things to change. And I'm like, no, 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 no. Like all that other stuff is gravy. Like you spent 7 minutes stopping everything else in your life to think loving thoughts for one of your children. You win.
Yeah.
And like giving ourselves permission to claim it as a victory. And it's one of many small ones that we're going to step into along the way. But like again, it's measurable and it's significant even if it's not grand.
Yes. 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 What's the Mother Teresa quote? We can't do great things. We can do small things with great love.
Yeah.
Um, let's close out with just a positive round here. So I choose to cultivate peace. I choose to cultivate peace. I'm cultivating peace from the inside out. I'm clearing what isn't peace inside of me. And as I let that stuff go, what I'm left with is peace. So, what am I going to be sending to other folks then? If peace is all I have left, peace is all that I can send. And what could be the downside of that? Just imagine if all of us were just sending peace to each other. We may have differences of opinion about how certain handles should be, about how certain matters should be handled, but we can find much better solutions when we clear stress and cultivate peace. I'm giving myself permission to clear what isn't peace. And I'm sending that. Definitely sending it to people I love. And I choose to be so free that I can send it to the people I might not care so much for. Because they might be the ones who really need it. Maybe I could send them so much peace and love. They might do things differently. Can't hurt to try. There's no downside to clearing what isn't peace. I I choose to be the change I wish to see in the world. I choose to be the peace I wish to see in the world. I choose to be the love I wish to see in the world. So I'm clearing what isn't peace. Clearing what isn't love. Clearing that stuff at a cellular level. Clearing it all the way back through my past. Back through all the times in my life I was programmed to think and feel something other than peace. The people who taught me that weren't feeling well. I'm sending them peace and love right now. Allowing myself to send more and more peace and love. Allowing myself to feel more and more peace and love. In body, mind, and spirit. Take a deep breath. Thank you for your comment, Audrey. I thought you were saying, and I saw that Brad was love. It's like, well, I'm glad that I came across that way.
Did you see the next comment after that, Brad?
Yes, I
Okay.
did. I saw
Okay,
the
good.
correction. It's like,
Yep.
yes,
Hey, it's nice to know that someone also acknowledges that you're alive as well.
yes.
That is a small victory too. Simple
I
acknowledgement and recognition.
I'm choosing to see that it was a necessarily a Freudian slip, but slip. I meant to say live, but what I
Yeah.
was really thinking is love.
Right. Yeah. Awesome. Excellent.
Um, so we're coming to the end of the hour. I'm gonna end with a guided imagery as I always tend to do on my live events, just because it's another way of cultivating peace. But again, folks, and let me put that link up there again
And
for
it's
Gene's.
yep. And it's super, super easy. tappingqna.com/30-day also works as well. Brad's put the redirect in the chat box, but tappingqna.com/30-day. Come tap with us, create a little piece in the world. And it's actually 32 days. Shh, don't tell anybody. We got 2 bonus days as well. We're going to December 2nd, actually.
So okay, I've put up the in the chat box, put the link in there that you have up on the screen. So encourage folks to do that. You know, tapping regularly is such a powerful thing. Um, and this is a great way to cultivate that habit. You know, it's so easy with when there's stressful things going on for us to forget, oh, I'm getting stressed out. I need to downregulate my stress and just get caught up in that. So to build that habit, build that muscle so that we much more quickly and easily remember, oh, right. And whether it's some silent tapping or tapping Ho'oponopono or any prayer or affirmation, just saying, one of my, I always wear my wristband that says cultivate peace. So I have that reminder. Things make me forget. And one of my morning affirmations is, thank you for making me an instrument of your peace. Thank you for making me a channel of your love. So that's just one of the things that I'll sometimes tap. And sometimes if I'm out in public, I'll subtly tap the finger points. And things are going on, and I'm just going, okay. So I'm just being there. So thank you, Gene, for teaming up for some tapping today.
Thanks for the invitation, man. It was really flattering to just out of the blue saying, "Hey, let's share this with my people as well." I always, regardless of what my sister says about you, I actually like you. We appreciate you greatly.
Funny, your sister says exactly the same thing about.
Well, yeah, for my sister works with me full time, and Brad has basically become family.
Yeah.
So we always appreciate the opportunity to collaborate and share with you, brother.
Elaine and I always have fun teaming up on Gene behind his back.
Yeah, well, and then she shares it with me, so I know what
Yeah.
you're saying about me. Awesomeness.
Oh man. She said it was in
Well,
the vault.
I have to sneak on. I got a
You got to
client
sneak
call here
out.
in 1 minute. Thanks, brother.
Yep. Join Gene for his 30-day challenge. You take care, Gene. We'll talk soon.
Bye bye.
And for anyone else who needs to jump off the line at the top of the hour, totally understand. But if you have a few more minutes and would like to do some guided imagery, uh, aka slash hypnosis, because I do use some hypnotic languaging in there. Uh, so go ahead and get yourself comfortable. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Another deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. A third deep breath in and hold it, and let it go. Now, just breathing comfortably with your eyes closed. Breathing comfortably, and just imagine that with each breath you take in, you breathe in relaxation and positive energy. Go ahead and imagine a healing light of whatever color you like surrounding your body so that with each breath you take in, your lungs comfortably draw in that healing light, allowing it to flow through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. Imagine a healing shower flowing down crystal clear water that's a perfect temperature as it flows over the top of your head, soothing and relaxing your scalp, washing away fear, doubt, anxiety, washing away anger, sadness, guilt, shame, washing away pain, frustration, disappointment, embarrassment, washing these away to reveal the light that you truly are. This unique expression of divine light and love, allowing more and more of that light to be revealed as that healing shower flows over your forehead, relaxing the muscles in your face, flowing down over the back of your head, your neck, your shoulders, washing away tension, leaving your shoulders calm, comfortable, and relaxed. That healing shower flowing down your arms, all the way down over your fingertips, down over your chest and your stomach, soothing and relaxing, healing and cleansing. And allowing yourself to remain comfortably in whatever position you choose. Allow that healing shower to flow down over your upper and lower back. And as your torso relaxes, your internal organs comfortably do whatever they need to do to achieve and maintain your optimal level of health and well-being in body, mind, and spirit. As that healing shower continues down over your body, down over your hips and your thighs, over your knees, down your lower legs, through your ankles, into your feet. And finally, that relaxation flows over your toes as you allow yourself to relax twice as much, going at least twice as deep with each number as I count backwards: 5, drifting down to 4, floating down to 3, 2, 1, and 0 is deep sleep. Remembering that each and every time you hear me say the words deep sleep, with your permission and only with your permission, you allow yourself to return to this depth or even deeper, 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 quickly, soundly, deeply. And the physical body relaxes, and with that relaxation comes a wonderful sense of calm well-being of body and mind. Deeper, deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. and 0 is deep sleep. And in this calm, comfortable state of mind and body, go ahead and imagine yourself in some really beautiful place. Some place where you allow yourself to be present to the beauty, the magnificence, the abundance of creation. Just soaking it all up, taking it all in, just basking in this awesomeness. And allowing yourself to remember that it is a reflection of your own awesomeness. You are likewise part of the awesomeness of creation. Allow yourself to feel that in every fiber of your being. Allow it to be a very peaceful and loving feeling. A feeling that melts away anything that doesn't feel like peace or love. Allowing yourself to have absolute compassion for your past self that has collected things that don't feel like peace, that has held on to things that don't feel like love, believing that those were necessary. And allowing yourself now to release those, setting yourself free to feel more peace and love. And as you do so, you can send out more peace and love to other people. In this beautiful place, imagine other people there and just imagine sending them peace and love. In whatever way you choose to do, it might be just sending them energy, sending them light, sending hearts. However you choose to send that peaceful, loving energy. And you might imagine some people that their love levels are a little bit low, as evidenced by their behavior. And allowing yourself to feel so much peace and love that you send them more peace and love. Just imagine that you can see their love meter and imagine it being raised, filling that up. And the more love and peace you send, the more you get to feel. It never depletes as you send it. The more you send, the more you get topped off. Allowing yourself to feel your connection to the source of love and peace. Feeling there's an endless supply. There's always more where that came from. So just allowing yourself to be extremely generous in how much love and peace you send. And allowing yourself to feel more and more love and peace as we go even deeper now. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And 0 is deep sleep. In a moment, I'll count you back out from 0 up to 5. 5 will be wide awake, alert, focused, and energetic, feeling much better than before. Feeling much more loving, much more peaceful, feeling much more compelled to send love and peace out to others. Choosing love and peace as often as possible, as much as possible. Tonight, when you choose to go to sleep, don't be surprised when you fall asleep quickly, soundly, deeply, and sleep very well through the night. During the night, you'll dream. The more you dream, the stronger you become. I'm going to ask your unconscious mind to allow at least one of your dreams to be a very healing dream. Continuing this healing process in body, mind, and spirit so that in the morning, at the time you've chosen to wake up, you wake up easily, feeling refreshed, energetic, and ready to start the day again, powerfully moving forward into that ever more joyful experience of an ever greater abundance of health, wealth, happiness, and love, which are your birthright and which benefit others. And now go back down to 0, which is always deep sleep, allowing your mind, body, and spirit to digest all of these positive thoughts and images, taking them in at a very deep level so that these positive changes occur easily, effortlessly, and naturally. Coming up to 1, feeling physically relaxed. 2, feeling emotionally calm and confident. 3, health and well-being, enthusiasm, love, joy, and gratitude flowing through every muscle, nerve, fiber, tissue, cell, and atom of your body. 4, becoming more and more alert and aware of your surroundings. And 5 is eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, eyes open, wide awake. And welcome back. And thank you so much for joining me for this live presentation. Again, we are being vibrational leaders for the world. As we raise our vibration, as we stay in a more positive zone, we up-level the energy of the planet. So thank you so much for participating in that. I love and appreciate you for doing that. Please do check out the Gene's 30-day challenge, and putting a link in the chat there again. And again, it's down below. To cultivate that habit, it's a good thing. It's a win-win situation as we allow ourselves to feel better. And you deserve that. You deserve the commitment to daily tapping, because it'll have so many benefits for you. Trust me. Since I started tapping regularly, my life has become more and more awesome, and I want that for you. And it makes a difference to the world, and it makes a difference in how you show up. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for showing up here. Love you guys. Have an awesome, well, tomorrow's Halloween. Have an awesome Halloween, and an awesome rest of your week, and an awesome week next week. Choose to have an awesome week. Choose to keep showing up as your best self and cultivating peace. Thanks. Bless you.